Hello again, traders. Right, I'm really rusty at making videos. This is about my fifth attempt, I think, and I'm afraid I'm no better than I was before. So apologies in advance for the rambling and the unnecessary content, but possibly the sound quality and the noise from outside. I'm in central Vietnam, and they live on their horns. I think it's a law they've got to toot at a road crossing without traffic lights. Anyway, rambling on. Life for me is fantastic. Let's just talk about this quickly first. The graph you're watching. This is the latest um, sort of 3CR bot update, and I'm really pleased with my recent progress. Literally, uh, a week or two ago, someone contacted me by DM, talked about when the likelihood of anything might be available, and I literally told them the way it's going, 6 to 12 months, I think, because you have to get a decent set of forward tests in. And literally 12 hours later, I had a penny drop moment again, and everything changed. So I'm going to, well, first I'll talk about what mistakes I made. And in my naivety, I believed another trader, and this is important. Never, ever believe people that seem to be gurus at, or the goats or whatever, at a certain subject without testing it yourself. They may well, I mean, I may well be good at what I do, but you don't know. And they may well be good at what they do. It all sounds right, but there's no substitute for doing your own tests. Anyway, this is a exact 12-month forward test. And the mistakes I made was poo-pooing 5-year tests. It didn't make any sense whatsoever for me. And I created a load of set files. And what happens? 12-month set file, set live in a forward test on demo accounts and live accounts. I've lost quite a fair amount of money in reality by running on real money accounts for I'd done the tests correctly. So back step a few months, and this would have been an example that I started, say, in, I don't know, November 2025, and instantly, let's say this is a 12-month example, November 2025, looking great, 12 months, yeah, let's go for it, and boom, it has just gone like that since. Part of this video is about preparing your mental state. If you're testing, you'll know this already. If you're considering purchasing an EA or whatever it is, renting, don't get your hopes up based on a 12-month back test. I'm happy to say now that I dumped, I don't know, 150 forward tests, all the ones that didn't perform well for 3 years, because the reason being, just like everything else in trading, and I want to talk about something else on another subject in a moment when I've got to the end of this, about this EA, and that's about confidence. Everything is about confidence. So what that 3-year forward test did, and this one has got a great 3-year forward test, not fantastic, it's got a fantastic 2-year forward test. I won't bore you with the details on that, but you don't have. I lost all confidence. I can't hold for 2 months of drawdown or 3 months of drawdown based on 12 months. That's the important thing. And it was not driving me. Well, it was. It was driving me a little bit crazy. I never get depressed now because I'm retired. I've done everything I want to do, and I'm happy, and I love, absolutely love living in a beach city where I get 1,000 choices of what to eat every day. And I love my food, I love my beaches, I love my swimming, I love my walking, and I love meeting people as well. Unfortunately, learning Vietnamese is damn hard work, nigh impossible. So I think I might have to rent a translator to enjoy myself more over here. Anyway, that's on another subject. Um, Back to this. So I'm a lot happier with this, and this particular forward test has performed from about, has been running from about there. Let's have a look. No, November. We are, what are we today? It's February the 22nd, and this has been running from about mid-December, somewhere around there, I guess. 1st of December. In fact, it's 20th of November. Oh, I apologies. I've got so many of these that are producing good results now. Forward tests are actually exceeding, most forward tests are exceeding the back tests results, so that's good. Um, and I did some real. I got up this morning, went for a swim, 6 a.m. with all the locals, and I had a bit of a eureka moment. I thought I keep putting it off. I keep forgetting to do this. I asked AI to give me a breakdown of the strategies, probabilities of various parameters on what the return would be on, say, for example, running 10 that return about 10 set files that return about all different instruments, all different time frames, all different times sessions, trading sessions like Asian, Frankfurt, London, and US. And so I'm trying to spread the risk, and it did some calculations for me, and they were really promising. I mean, it's just incredible. It created took 15 minutes actually, and then I had to revise a few questions and get a few more answers. But the first answer was perfect, and then it gave me uh, more questions, as it were, like you do. And basically, it if you got something like 10 of these working on these sort of equity curves, as it were, and you spread them across various accounts. Let's say you've got an existing set of um, um, prop firms. You know, you've managed to, you're not doing the, although that was a question I didn't ask it. I asked it about factoring in the evaluation periods, the failure rates, and it will give me a figure like if I was trying for 4%, I get a higher failure rate with 1% risk. But if I was only trying for this one in particular to achieve half of that, then obviously the failure rate, the breaking the 5% daily rate on most of these prop firms goes down dramatically. So your annual profit goes up slightly, but you're reducing your risk by um, spreading it over a number of different set files, and then you can factor in spreading it over a number of different um, uh, prop firms, hopefully the most reliable. And there are all sorts of things I've been reading up about prop firms as well. If you stay under a certain value, rather than going for 100k accounts, various prop firm traders say keep it to 50 and 60 and 50 and maybe even less. You will stay under that radar a little bit, but whether it's true or not, I don't know. You need to ask AI again, I suppose. But then they only get their results from all the stuff on the internet. So anyway, I'm really, really seriously thinking about a sustainable way to use these. Now, I haven't even, well, I did actually. I factored into the question with AI this morning. What about if I just put it on my own account, tell me what the returns and the risk are if I'm using 500 leverage and so on and so forth. And I mean, it coughed out some sort of figure you can earn on a 5,000. In fact, no, it was a low. No, it was what was 5,000. I said 5,000 would be the amount. You can earn 5 times that on a 500 to 1 leverage using a very low risk setting on these EAs, because they're built to stay below the rates on all the well-known prop firms. So anyway, just have a look at the figures on this, and I'll go back to my other point. So report, we kept it just about 5%. So let's say you half that to 2.5%, and the risk and the various risks over here. In fact, it's less. Maximal drawdown, relative drawdown. Maximal, I think, is the one we want to look at, because once you hit that, you'd be thrown out of prop firms. But both these figures are good, and we're looking at 60% on an annual 12. This is a 12-month. It's not particularly cherry-picked. It's one of my best, one of the best. But I've got 5 or 6 different instruments returning 40+% and above, and then you've got multiple time frames that create a new set file. So I suppose, realistically speaking, I've got about 150 forward tests running. I've got about 70 or 80 that are performing as well as the back test said, and I've got about 20 of that 70 or 80 that are ready to go and would across all the 4 different sessions to reduce the risk. And it's been, it's a mash. It's mashing them all up and getting the best results. And as it stands, that has to be, as far as I'm aware, it has to be done manually. It's such a time-consuming process. I can sit and, in fact, this weekend was a good example where I was trying to produce a decent addition, if you like, to the stable of different set files that would all complement each other, Asia and all that lot across to the American session. And I don't think I ended up, I spent probably 2 lots of 8 or 9 hours a day, Saturday and Sunday, and I can still, by doing that, I start at 5 and I can still have 7 hours on the beach if I wanted, or doing whatever I want to do. So that's the beauty of not commuting to your work. That's the beauty of waking up and working 2 hours before you even have breakfast or a shower, or 5 hours if the case may be. So this is my life. I love it and all that lot. Anyway, getting back to the point. Sorry for rambling again. The amount of work to create these things, it can take an hour. I've said on my Twitter feed, X feed, whatever you want to call it, same name as this YouTube channel, Best Forex Method, if you want to hit me up and follow me. That I can press the button of a set file on the wrong time frame or the wrong instrument, and I instantly get something that looks absolute and performs amazingly. And then, like this weekend, which is very, very unusual, I didn't get anything valuable out of the weekend, except I'm a great believer. We learn something from everything, whether it's spending 2 8-hour days getting nowhere. You get somewhere. Something good has come of this weekend's work anyway. So that's about the lot on this, apart from the fact that will it become available to you? As long as I can find a way to protect my no, ideally I want to just trade it. Well, no, ideally I'd like to share it and make money from all the hundreds, if not thousands of hours of work I've put into this. Basically, I've been working with EA's 3CR bot, if you like, since COVID, so what's that, 6 years, or thereabouts. So I want to return on that. I've got to protect my my coding, if you like. So I'll have tested that out, and then primarily what I really, really want to do is to be able to give this stuff away, managed by me but free, to charities. You know, I watched a video. It's heartbreaking yesterday. It was about Ho Chi Minh, Saigon, whatever, and it covered everything. It was fantastic. I think I put a link to it on my X feed again, but I don't like to stray off topic too much. But I know I've got a very, very lovely quality set of followers amongst the 16 or so thousand that are up there that don't get involved, that think like I do, and that's great. And I watched this video in Saigon, and the poverty in those places is horrendous. There was a lady with no teeth, must have been in her 80s, 90s, whatever, living under a bridge with a blanket and a few bits of what are they called? Pallets, wooden pallets for furniture. I mean, that is heartbreaking. And she didn't get to that point in life by being lazy or anything. There's no such thing as lazy people as far as I can see in Vietnam. Probably Asia, actually. Every day is a fight for most of them, or a lot of them. But she had the biggest smile on her face, and I hope the YouTube guy, gave her enough money for a month's food or whatever, because that's nothing to a European guy. And I would like to be able to just hand her 5 million or whatever, dong, I think that's 5 3 50, 150 quid, or even, set up some sort of fund or something, and one of these little bots can do that for charity. And that has been my aim. I mean, there's such a lot of diversity over here. I think landing in Da Nang, it gave me, well, I didn't land in Da Nang, I landed in Saigon and then found Da Nang. But this is definitely a wealthy area of central Vietnam. I mean, it made me chuckle the other day. I walk everywhere. I'm considering maybe getting one of those little electric scooters and only going out in the middle of the night. But you know, the houses are huge here. People are living on the beach. The beach gets packed with locals. It is not going to be cheaper for much longer. There's a guarantee. I've seen a massive change since I came here last year. Anyway, I'm digressing again. But what made me chuckle on Sunday was that it's been New Year holidays, and there was a father and his two kids washing their scooters and a car literally on the path outside their house. They don't have driveways or anything, but it made me chuckle. It's just, there are middle class people in Vietnam, there's very wealthy people in Vietnam, and there are very, very poor people in Vietnam. But I doubt whether there's many homeless, and if they are, they do it by choice, I think. This particular video was interesting because it went inside the houses. There was one that the landlord built a house that was about 4 feet wide, and the access, the guy he was a skinny guy, slim guy, whatever, fit. He had to turn himself sideways to get down the alleyway, the only way to get in and out of that house. And I was laughing because, quite frankly, I wouldn't even get down there sideways, being carrying a good few extra pounds. So, anyway, I've digressed massively, but that's what I want to use this for. Initially, it's to make money for myself, but I suppose no. Initially, I just wanted to do it because it's there to be done, and I like to do these things. And secondarily, I wanted to use it to finance a big project to help other people, possibly, without all the song and dance. I want to remain anonymous and all that lot as much as I possibly can. And then, thirdly, possibly help out a few of my long-term, and I'm talking over a decade now, people have been following me, long-term followers on YouTube, and Twitter, X, whatever, to maybe teach you how I've done this. You know, maybe I'm putting the cart before the horse at the moment. Maybe it won't make money, but I'm confident that it will, especially after getting AI to analyze the best way to do it in a probability wise. Now you probably think I've done it arse. In fact, I probably have done it arse backwards. But if I'd asked AI that before I started, I would have had a false impression and probably got overexcited. It's taken 5 or 6 years to get here, and I thought it's about time I asked that question. I keep forgetting to ask it. Work out the probabilities and what I need to do to make it profitable. To come up with some fantastic ideas, and there we are. So anyway, one last thing, and I want to give a big up to Zar Trading, Zerillion, whatever. He nailed it. Profitable trading, for if you're a newbie and you've got this far in my video, put it on 2-speed or whatever, and just pick out the best bits. But psychology is taught by so few people on the internet, probably 1 in 100,000, tell you, because they're all trying to flog you the dream of finding a chart pattern, trading it, a couple of MAs crossing, or 3CR, or 2B reversal, or whatever, and that will make you money. Let me tell you now, do not pay anyone. Well, there's 2 people at the moment that I know, DD with her gold trading and various other stuff, you know, and Zar, and both of them. I mean, there's plenty out there. Steve-O, shout out to Steve-O, giving great advice. But if you sign up for a $199 dollars a month course, or whatever they do, $2,000 for the year, you're an idiot if they are teaching price action, because they know you will fail, and they're failed traders. They need your subscription to make money. Apart from, as I say, if DD launched a subscription service, if she's not already, then I think she's probably the best signals person for free, as far as I'm aware, out there that I've bothered to. You know, obviously there's loads, but that's one I know and would trust. And then Zar, and what he does, because of the fact that he focuses on the psychological side. You know, I've said this on my X before now. What I should have done is trusted the 2B reversal, and then implicitly not wasted my time with everything else. And I developed the 3CR, so I don't regret that at all, because it you know, the two are so symbiotic, and I understand them so well. And this leads me on to something else. So the confidence of understanding that they've worked for hundreds of years, right back to chart patterns with the bulbs, the Dutch bulb boom and bust, and which is in the mid 1700s, I think, 18th century. And you can look back on these books and all that lot, W.D. Gann and all those people, and what they're teaching you in the books is great, but it's only the psychological aspect that you should focus on, because all the patterns work, all the trading patterns work, some better than others. All the candle patterns work. I came across a video yesterday where a guy said candles are useless, and in the next breath, literally the next breath, he uses moving averages. What a wanker, excuse my French. What a wanker. And guess what? He's selling an academy. He made good sense about economics. The video was worth a watch for that, but what a tosser. So anyway, back to the focus. Focus on a chart pattern, focus on your psychology, and then and that, even with these EAs and stuff, you have got to be aware that even that showed that fantastic 12-month graph, they can tank like this the next day. for 2 months, 3 months, whatever. And that is why I'm covering all bases with 20 different set files if possible, make more and more and more. But then another mistake I made at the start, I tried to sort out all the different stuff, FX pairs, and really, I suppose at that stage I was trying to prove that the bot worked across all sorts of stuff. But I should have focused on 2 or 3, which I did do in the end, or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 now. And I'm gradually adding. Yesterday, in fact, was the weekend was spent trying to add another couple to the stable. And try as I might, I could. But having said that, I've got another, whatever, infinite number of, well, it's not infinite. There's an infinite number of filters available. I've built about 18, maybe 21 different filters. I've only used really 6 or 7. And I haven't even started using those. So this is another not eureka, penny drop moment that I had yesterday. I was getting a bit frustrated, not chuck your laptop out the window frustrated, but just like, oh my God, I need to get out on the beach type frustrated. And but then I reminded myself that I've got another, 15 filters to test and different EAs. I've got thousands of EAs also as well. I needed to remind myself that I can apply what I've learned doing the 3CR bot, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever, and I can apply them. So it's a never ending job, but it's a very, very exciting job, because the more filters you get to smooth out that curve, as Dean Kiss My Ass said on Twitter, many a year or so ago now probably, the more you spread the risk, instruments, time frames, and all that lot, and sessions, and filters, trading candlestick patterns, trading wave patterns, trading moon phases. I've even built that into some of my EAs, quarterly patterns. Another good follower, I forget who it was now, I think it starts with M, is Nick. He made me think, gave me a thought. He suggested focusing on the quarters or thereabouts, and some quarters are sideways, and some quarters, this isn't a quarterly chart obviously, but some quarters will be flat. So set your EA up to only trade certain quarters, earnings quarter or whatever. And it made so much sense to me, so I built a filter for that. And it's not been tested yet. Even, built the filter, stuck it on there, and we shall see what happens. Anyway, before I mess this up, I was going to use the F word, I'm going to stop this and upload it to YouTube, and hopefully some of you will have not got too annoyed by the sound quality. I will eventually buy a microphone, a good one, and I had a thought yesterday that I should, there's plenty of people. I haven't logged into my YouTube channel for ages. I lost the login and it wouldn't let me, and then one thing and another. I think about 3 months, maybe 3 months. So I've caught up with a few very nice comments, and I still think there is a sort of not a niche, an opportunity for me to build my lifestyle around maybe doing a weekly streaming, pep talk, one-to-one, who knows, but it must only be um, very, very stress-free. I don't want any idiots in there, so I have to work out how to do it. And I haven't spent a microsecond thinking about that, apart from when I managed to get back into my YouTube channel today. So another thought on the back burner. It's not really out there to to take the world on, but I know some people want to talk about 2Bs and my view on them. And no, I know a lot of people want to talk about the 3CR, and other people want to talk about the EAs. They're all built. This is a direct result of those two patterns, and patterns within patterns, obviously multi-time frame. And this brings me to another thought I had, still on topic of trading, but not of the EAs, is that a friend, follower, whatever you want to call him, Breen, you know who you are, sent me an AI produced video about the 2Bs. And it reminded me of something that is really, really important, is that it's part of my magic, if you like, secret sauce for me, is that it's multi-time frame. I currently trade manually now without the charts open. I just use those multi-time frame Bollinger Bands and wait for the alert, and then just double check everything looks right. And again, that is about getting the right set of time frames. We're not just talking about 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute. It might be 1 minute, 15 minute, and 4 hour, or it might be 1 minute, 3 minute, 15 minute, or it might be 5 minute, 30 minute, 4 hour again. So again, you can't, that is all nuanced. It's so nuanced, and you have to build your own belief system in trading. And the 2B video, if you're watching this, Reen, we ought to talk about that AI produced thing and where we could improve it, as it were, if you want to go down that route. But there is so much nuance, and it's not because I overcomplicate things with too many instruments. It's because if, let's say, I was watching gold the other day, it was a gold signal from DD. I think she called the West Ender, or something from Slytherin, or something from I think it's from Harry Potter. Anyway, DD gave a gold signal, and all I had to do was wait for a perfect multi-time frame musical system, alert, whatever you want to call it, ding dong, from the multi-time frame Bollingers. But then I had to check the two instruments at the bottom, the TMA slope and the RSI histo, bust, pullback, break and close. Then I had to check that everything was, say, for example, if it was good on the 5 minute, it had to be good on the 15 minute and the H1, and maybe possibly the H4 candle and colour needs to be taken into account. And that can't be taught, really. All you can do is, as I used on my X feed, screen time. Screen time produces confidence. Screen time produces ability to tick every box on every time frame. And you know, I took some great trades out of DD's gold. I trade anything, DAX, gold, you name it, whatever, and stocks, Tesla, and so on and so forth. But I use the same method, multi-time frame, 3CR, 2B reversal, line chart, and all that lot, momentum method, every single trade. And that cannot be taught in a trading room, one of these failed traders trading room. And I'm going to just finish this with one moan again. Someone, you know, these ICT baby, I used to call them baby ICT wannabes, because they fail, they can't trade. After 3 months or 6 months or whatever, they set up a scam. And one guy, apparently, he pulled the rug on over 400 people that had paid him $1,000 a year for a year's entry or whatever it was. And so over 400 grand from a wannabe, and that's dead money. And if they'd have just listened to the message from Azar and my little message in this video, never pay anyone that is just selling a price action system. If they can sell you the stuff like ZAR sells, NLP, Neural, whatever it is, and and focus, even if that isn't going to help you an awful lot. I'm not saying it doesn't, I've not looked into it, but focus on the mental game, or build a system. The way I did it, and I've said this many times on X, I um, built a scalping system that I trusted 100%. There's no, possibly 99.9%, otherwise I'd be a billionaire. But 100% that I would hit my target on a 1 minute 2B, providing I get the 5 minute and the 15 minute and the time of the day. That's another thing. The time of the day, the time of the candle, the time of multiple candles. I spent hours looking at recent candles. That's another thing that I use. But if I look at a recent candles at the weekend, sorry, I'm digressing yet again. At the weekend and end of the week, which I use all the time. If I think about it, I use the daily all the time as well, every day. Close of the day, how's the previous day close? If there's a doji, I can get into it. If it's inside bar, I can get into it. If it's on an open, daily open, I can get into it. If it's aiming towards a daily open, because they love to test that daily open, the yellow line on my charts on my Twitter feed, then if everything, as if it's a 2B, it's broken coming down, it's broken this resistance, support rather, true support, breaks that high. That is true support. That is where the buyers got strong. If it comes down and tests it and has a little bump but not a high, that's a head and shoulders. And then it breaks it again, we'll probably come back and test it. But if it breaks it again with multi-time frame momentum and the time of the hour and the minute and the 4 hour and all that looks right, then it's going down. If it doesn't look quite right, because all the multi-time frames are not aligned for a drop and the time of the day and the hour and 4 hour, then it might pop up again. But then you can almost guarantee, if it doesn't break the previous high, then you can almost guarantee, because then at that point the sellers are overriding the buyers and it's likely to drop. And that all you can only learn that from screen time and thousands of hours of screen time. But getting back to it, that allowed me to scalp. And knowing ex-city traders that would happily take another thing, it's a fallacy, a lie, that you have to trade 2-to-1 RRR and all that lot. I know an ex-city Deutsche Bank trader, an ex-city trader that didn't say where he was, and a couple of ex-prop traders, not city, but they'd sit in a room and trade real money, millions. Lem, the ex-Deutsche is Claudia 1, the ex-city is Billy TT, and Lem was the prop trader. And those three guys, there's hundreds of fantastic people on Forex Factory. Those three people, good traders, because they're not flogging a course. They know, all three of them know each of them, that little group, they are the real deal. And they are the people that new traders should be watching and studying and understanding. And to get back to the point, they would happily take a risk $2,000 to earn 1,000, and they'd do that 10 times a day. So where is this fake rule of you must never trade less than 2-to-1 or whatever? Risk 1,000 to earn 2. Bullshit. Because the other thing as well, and I know I've digressed a lot now, apologies, because I won't be making another video for a long while unless I've got the bug again. Another thing is and now I've gone off topic so much that I've forgotten what I was going to say. Risk reward, all that lot. No, I've forgotten. It's gone out of my head. Anyway, apologies everyone. It's now way past the time that I should have stopped this video. But yeah, those guys from the city traders, should I say, it's halfway come back to me. It's just basically they can take 10 trades, and their risk reward idea would be, well, if I take 10 trades and I earn 10 grand, risking 20 grand, as it were, 2-to-1, they will stop if they lose 2 trades in a row or whatever. So they've made 8 grand and they've lost 4 grand or whatever. So that's how they calculate their risk. Anyway, I digress. 4 to 1, 4 to 1 is better. You know, I built these bots. Actually, we could study those quickly before we go. Look at that, 5 losing trades, 5, let's say 4 grand. So, oh, excuse me, 6 winning trades, 10 grand. Those are good numbers. That's a good number. Expected payoff. That's a good number too. Um, and I didn't even know what these were. I roughly knew what they were because I'm always looking for a 2 there, and always looking for below 5 there. And then these numbers need to stack up, and I would prefer to see, say, 4 to 2 or 2 to 1 here. And that gives me the confidence. These are much better looking reports than I used to be happy with, because I've learned from screen time. And what else should I say while I'm on this? No, modeling quality obviously has to be high. That was another mistake I made. All of the uh, tests based on anything less than that sort of modeling quality are utter rubbish. So if you're relying on a broker's feed and it gives you 90%, almost certainly, if you plugged it into this data, it would look an absolute disaster zone. Anyway, I must stop this now. I need to hit the beach and see if I can see another flying fish in front of me. Thanks for listening. Have a great day. Please comment. If you want to put any questions to me, put them privately on my X feed, Twitter feed, Best Forex Method. Don't put them in the comments here if it's any inquiries about EAs or one-to-ones or anything like that. Of course, anything that is not particularly, because the main reason is because I don't use Best Forex Method. If you'd have been commenting on here over the last 2 or 3 months, I wouldn't have got back to you. I'm on Twitter every day, almost every day. I would say 364 days a year, let's put it that way. Okay, guys, have a great one. I'm just about to hit the beach. It's long overdue. The sun is shining here in sunny Da Nang, central Vietnam, and the sea will be about 76 degrees, so you never get cold. I can go in there for 2 or 3 hours a day. I spent an hour on the beach the other day watching tiny little kids. I know kids don't often feel the cold anyway, but there was a little girl. She must have been 3 or 4. She could have been 10 because they're Vietnamese. And she was just having an absolute ball with her brothers and her mum, who were and the whole of the beach. I never, ever, ever get down here. But in the UK, for example, you can have a flaming June, and then you're going to get rain all July. And if I'm sat looking outside at the rain, the rain here, I can just go out in a vest and shorts and just get wet, live with it, as long as I've got a cap on over my sunglasses, or I can throw one of the lovely Macs that cost about £1 on, and it's just incredible. Rain doesn't matter, wind doesn't matter, and to be fair, I know monsoons are bad, and I'm not trying to belittle them at all, and tornadoes or whatever you want to call them, and especially you guys in America. But we had one overnight here, and they said close your windows, batten down this, be prepared to go to the safety room, as it were, in the hotel. And I slept entirely through it. As far as I woke up at 4 o'clock, looked out, nothing. And I thought it missed us. Hit the beach, and it was an absolute war zone. So the all I can say is that either I'm going deaf, or I know the windows work really well here. If you close the windows, put the aircon on, you can't hear a thing outside. Anyway, and so, the point being, whether last year was or last winter here, whatever, December time, was a particularly mild, low risk one, but they did say there were a couple of monster ones that hit this place. Well, we have when things go wrong in the UK countryside, you can be locked into your uh, farm or wherever you live. My house was in the country for a day or two until either the farmers come and move broken trees down and floods, or you wait for the council to do it, which usually take a week. Uh, and it's, people die from trees falling down, so it's no different. My family are all petrified something's going to happen, but and I know it does, but it's not as bad as everyone makes out. Anyway, I've digressed again. Apologies, guys. Have a great day. I need to hit the beach.